Hello my friends and welcome to Italy a Place to Love YouTube channel. Now today I'm going to make a video about expat expectations as I usually do on Thursday, and what I usually do is to read one of the most interesting posts of the week that I found on a group on Facebook called Expats Living in Italy, which I actually recommend you to join this group. Anyway, so today's topic is when you pick a place where to live in Italy, the reason why you choose one place. Okay, so now let's go and let's read this post. I'm not gonna share names and surname of who wrote the post. Now, the question is I would love to hear some of your share why you picked the region and area you did when moving to Italy. We are personally tossed between a few areas to buy, so we will be renting for a while. Now, this is a huge topic that I discussed already in few videos on my channel, because anyway, when we pick up a place in Italy, we really have to think about first what we like. Once we know exactly what we want and what we like, then we can start picking the place, choosing the place, because Italy has so many different, the variety of places. There are towns, there are big cities, there are seaside, there is mountain, there are mountains, so it's not easy. Lakes, rivers, islands, not islands, so many different could be the reasons why you pick one place or another. And now let's read what people are writing under this post. For example, here we choose Umbria region. Beautiful towns, area, affordable and central, literally, she say in brackets, to the east, west, to the east coast, and west coast, north and south. Yes, basically, for example, a lot of expats are choosing for the center of Italy because they find convenient, because you might find you are in between the north and the south, the east and the west, so you are literally in a central area, and that, for example, what you want, for example, so to be in a place where you can commute easily to other places. Someone is writing what city or town, and someone say we are in Todi. So Todi is a town in Umbria region, T-O-D-I, Todi. Someone says I'm looking at Perugia, thank you very much. And then who moved to Todi replied and say we are about 45 minutes south from Perugia and go there quite often. It's a bit bigger of a city than we are looking for, but we enjoy visiting there. So, for example, this person who moved to Todi didn't choose for Perugia because Perugia for them is too big, but obviously you are not far and it might be convenient, easy to visit anytime you want. This is another very important thing. Then I will look here, someone said, I will look here too. I know who wrote the post. It's a little hard to pick as there are so many beautiful areas. Anyway, this is another problem, because there are so many beautiful areas that it might not be easy to find. Then we found so many places that we liked, so we choose to be central to make it easier to travel through the rest of Italy, as I actually said. So who goes for the central part of Italy is because they want to be close a bit to everywhere. You are not far from the north of Italy, you are not far from the south, you are not far from Rome, to the east and the west. Alright, now let's keep reading. Now, someone said, I'm 8 years in Città di Castello, Umbria region. So, another one who picked for Umbria. Umbria region, when kids were in elementary schools, then off to Florence for an international school education day, now in Chianti and Florence. All have their positive points. Torino should be on the list along with the incredible lakes region. Anyway, Piemonte region and Turin, anyway, is a kind of attractive destination, in particular for the younger one, who is looking for example, a lovely, a comfortable city, not very big as Rome and Milan, with a nightlife, with all the services, with an airport, so, and with young people as well, because anyway, there's a kind of life. Bologna and Turin are kind of similar from this point of view, so Torino is also interesting. Then someone has said, we choose northern Liguria. So we are talking about Liguria region, the western part, I guess. So we choose northern Liguria on the sea because we have a great weather, mountains, water, and France is so close. Yeah, I agree. For example, I always look, when I was looking at Liguria, also because I lived in Torino and Torino is not far, I was always tempted to go to the part of Liguria that is close to France, because in half an hour, 40 minutes, 50 minutes driving, I was already in another country. For example, I always liked the idea to travel, and for me it was always important to be close to another country. Now, I love France, the southern part of France, La Costa Azzurra, Côte d'Azur, is beautiful. So, then they say France is so close with Flixbus. Flixbus now, it's a service of buses that we have in Italy. I think it's common in all Europe to have Flixbus. Flixbus to Nice airport is about 45 minutes. So we are centrally located for European and Northern African travels. So probably these people who wrote this comment are people who like to travel, and they find like Liguria is in between. You are not far from the northern part of Europe, and also you are not far from Northern African countries, in case, for example, you are a person who like to travel, like Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, and so on. And also they made the point that Liguria has this airport that is in France, Nice airport, which is actually anyway close to Liguria, to Italy. I think if you are in the northwestern part of Liguria, the closest airport is in Nice, is in France, in Nice. Okay, so let's keep reading. Now, someone else says, we live in Sicily, at least partly because that's where my husband's family comes from. So these people picked for Sicily. He has cousins here, so he had some relatives, and so maybe dual citizenship. But anyway, obviously, if you have connection, maybe in this case probably is the wife of this person who has connection with Sicily, and it seems like they are enjoying the life there. Also because of climate, and we love our town, called Marina di Ragusa, in Ragusa. Ragusa is a province in Sicily, 25 minutes away, so they say that Marina di Ragusa to Ragusa is only 25 minutes driving. There is everything you need, hospitals and so on. Nowadays, for example, they mention hospitals, but health is one of the main concerns for all the expats, for all the people who want to move. Anyway, the healthcare system is one of the most important issues that people are trying to understand before relocating. And why not? I mean, understandable. Then, if you want, someone else says, if you want, check out my YouTube series about Bergamo. Current discussion is about medical. Okay, again, someone else put the things on the medical issue, that private insurances, social cards, so the Italian medical card, how to apply, is the Italian health system good? My opinion, for example, if I want to share my opinion, for me they're all the same. Doesn't matter. For me, I traveled in few different countries, and for me the healthcare system is all the same. So if you want a decent healthcare, if you want a decent healthcare, just pay and you solve any problems. Then obviously, if I'm thinking to relocate somewhere, I have to put in front that if I need some medical cares, I might go. For example, if I'm not happy with the public service, because the public service might have a lot of lags, might be slow and so on, then I have to be ready to go to a private. I don't have many alternatives. For me, people who are looking, expats that are looking for public health system working well, I don't think there's any public system working well. Then someone may say, oh, in Germany it's perfect. I don't know, but all I know is that if you have money and you can pay, it's much better. Then nobody can disagree with this. Then the fact that some systems are working better than another one, I don't have anything against this. But anyway, let's keep reading. Someone else said, I picked the Northern Lakes region because it has mountains and lakes, so I can always just look outside and be in awe of nature. Nature, for example, a lot of people are looking for nature. Some are looking for the cities, some are looking for nature and small communities and small towns. I picked Lake Como. Anyway, Como Lake is a beautiful area. You are very close to Switzerland as well, specifically by looking at overhead drone footage YouTube, and just prefer the vibe of Como versus Garda. Now we have Garda Lake and Como Lake, and this person said the vibes, I felt better vibes in Como than in Garda. Garda is oddly greenish. Then I had to find a house that had a view of the lake and was within budget. And as I figure out on my exploratory visit, not 15 minutes up a darn one-lane mountain road, and had good delivery options. So it seems like, wait a second, as I figure out on my exploratory visit, 15 minutes anyway driving mountain roads to have proper services. Someone says, for example, I think who wrote the comment, we are looking in Rapallo. Rapallo is Liguria, but is the northern eastern part of Liguria. And there are many expats in your area, and there are people welcoming and friendly. I want a small town feel, not too small, 20k or 10k inhabitants, but a feel of old Italy too I love. Now it's a bit, the English of this message is not the best. Anyway, I don't know anything about that area, but I would assume there's a largish expats community in Genoa. Genoa is the capital of Liguria region, and actually, as much as I know, there is a kind of good community of expats in all Liguria, but also in Genoa. Now, someone says, quite a long comment, I'm away off the beaten pathway. In the US, I have lived in big cities and small towns and areas that are considered resorts with a constant flow of weekenders each weekend, holiday and summer. I have lived in big cities and small towns. Now, weekenders. I have lived near the beach in California, but rarely, maybe once or twice a year, went to the beach. True, when you're living too close to the beach, you may not go often that much. I have an autistic 4-year-old son who does best in quiet areas without a lot of flashing lights, traffic noise, and he loves to walk. So a city is not what you might looking for. I like the cold much better than hot, the cold weather rather than the hot. So in choosing a place in Italy, I knew that I wanted a small town, totally walkable for everything. I did not want tourists and crowds. Cold mountains much prefer over beach communities. Quite was much preferred, but also walkable for groceries, school and daily living. So I bought a house in Latronico. Now, if I'm not wrong, Latronico is in Basilicata. It is in the south, surrounded by mountains and forests, totally walkable to anywhere in the town, but the town has pretty much everything one would need. It is about 3 hours bus ride from Naples airport. So again, a lot of people are choosing Italy for the small towns and for the quiet life. I understand, because this was also my decision. If I wanted to be honest, if I wanted to live in a city, I would have rather lived in many other cities of the world, obviously trying to avoid visa problems, because always there are issues with visa. But if I had to live in a city, let me say, I would have choose maybe another city out of Italy. For nature, I think, and small communities and small towns, here I found all what I was looking for. Then someone has said, I think who wrote the post, I will look into this area, it sounds great, what you mentioned is a lot what we are looking for. Exactly, as I said, a lot of people are looking for quiet places. Then, love my town, visit Ripa Transone. I don't know where Ripa Transone is, anyway, in which region, they don't mention. I live in SBT and restore many art objects in Ripa Transone. I don't know what SBT is, and restored many art objects in Ripa Transone, beautiful town. So now someone asked, where did you learn art restoration? I was considering doing a course in Florence many years ago. My circumstances changed a lot since then. I'm an older widow, but I'm still interested in restoration. Then this was in the 80s, I was accepted into a 2-year program in Florence, so I went to that, and so on. Here is saying where he learned the skills about restoration. Okay, now the very last comment here, I loved Rome and Florence equally. So I pick up a spot between the two, so I could easily pop up or down to either. For example, this is another important thing. She loved Rome, she loved Florence, so the best thing to do is to pick up in between. Once you like, for example, there are 2 places who you like a lot, I would recommend to choose in between like this. You can commute to one and you can commute to another, and you might not maybe be charged as to living in a big city, so you might find also balance with the expenses, for example rental or buying an accommodation. So, which I do regularly to go or Florence or Rome. We can also drive to France or speed train to Naples. Yes, because anyway, if you are, for example, not far from Florence, you can drive in 4 or 5 hours. You can be up in France through the motorways, or you can go to Naples in 3 hours with the speed train. Living in the center near a main train line and several airports is such a bonus to get in everywhere easily. Moving here to raise kids, we wanted a rural home to feel and look remote, but not to be isolated, completely isolated. Too far from, anyway, as I said, big cities. Now grown, one son divides his time between Umbria and Geneva, so Switzerland, by taking the speed train to Milan and a Flixbus over the border. Another has an easy commute to Bologna, where he studies. You see, if you are in that area, you can easily commute to other places. The third takes Perugia, in Umbria region. So, she had 3 sons, they are all grown, one in one place, one in another, one in another, and another one. Stansted flights to her UK school. So there are, I think, flights from UK, probably, close to where she is, because the UK school. The airport is 40 minutes from our house. I like raising them in a tiny village for community, so they always have an intimate place that's home, but also with the ease of jumping on a train or a plane, so they could explore the rest of Europe. That's fantastic. To be honest, this woman for me had been very smart. It really all depends what's your checklist. And now that I'm gonna close the video, but this is the best sentence anyway to close the video, because it really depends what's on your checklist. And again, if you're thinking to relocate, if you'd love to, before anyway, come on holiday, start visiting, explore a lot on the web, but make your checklist. Make a list of the things that you really want, that are important for you, make a priority, and then on the base of this checklist you will be easily find the perfect place for you to live in Italy. Okay, my friends, so I hope you enjoyed this Expat Expectations episode here on Italy, a Place to Love YouTube channel, and so I'll see you to my next video here on my channel, and I wish you a lovely day from Antonio, Italy, a Place to Love. Bye!